Hi, Gerhard Bloom, once again looking at the tyranny and the delusions of the social justice movement. So yeah, leftists, they love asylum seekers, right? Biden lets in like over 10 million illegal migrants, not asylum seekers, these people, economic migration. That's what that's all about. And unvetted, utterly unvetted, into the country, drug dealers, killers, human traffickers of children. Yep, not a peep from them. Just happily supporting Biden and the open border. But here, South African asylum seekers, no pity for them at all. No understanding. Why? Yeah, because they're white. In this whole oppression narrative, whites, they're always the evil oppressors, and people of color, they're always the oppressed. But turns out South Africa is on the brink of becoming a failed state, right? It was once the richest country in Africa, had beautiful infrastructure, a booming economy, until, of course, the sanctions against apartheid. And yes, apartheid was an evil system. But you could have done away with apartheid and have a responsible government, racially blind, right? Merit. But no, now in South Africa, all sorts of racially bigoted laws, against white people by black people. Black people are being the oppressors here. And this is not the first incidence of this. Rhodesia used to be a beautiful country, one of the main breadbaskets of Africa, became Zimbabwe later, and under Mugabe, expropriated farms. Turns out the farmers there, almost exclusively white farmers, but they knew how to farm. They knew, hence, being the breadbasket of Africa. The food production collapsed. People were murdered. Mugabe had his thugs out on the street. Totalitarian dictator. The economy collapsed. It's awful. And this is what's happening in Africa. There have been stadiums filled with thousands of blacks chanting, death to the Boer farmers, death to the Boer farmers. These farmers are farmers, right? They're not racially oppressing anybody. Oh, but it's Africa. Africa, it belongs to the Africans. The Afrikaners, right, the original white settlers, they arrived in the 1600s. It's now the 21st century, right? So for hundreds of years, the Afrikaners and later Germans and other peoples joined them, Brits, lived there. And by the way, in the 1600s, when the Afrikaners arrived, very, very sparsely settled was South Africa. The Zulus, black people, yes, they came into South Africa after the Boers had already arrived. The Afrikaners had already arrived. So, no. And you have leftists saying, well, these people should go back to Europe, Why don't they tell the Zulus to go back to the places in Africa where they came from? These people have lives. Anyways, they're leaving because, yes, white farmers, entire families have been brutally slaughtered in racially bigoted, motivated attacks. So these people are escaping. They're asylum seekers. And guess what? They're carrying American flags. They're waving American flags. Unlike those Palestinians who were burning American flags, British flags, right? All over Europe. These Boer farmers, they have been vetted. They belong. They speak the language and they share in Western civilization, our culture and our traditions. Right? And I've said this before. There are Muslims who come to Canada, the United States, Europe, who want to escape the tyranny of Islam. Yep, welcome aboard, right? But you come, start burning flags, stabbing people in random knifing attacks, including little girls at some dance party festival, stabbing to death little girls, right? The car rammings, the terrorist attacks, the beheadings, right? No. Off you go then, out the door. And I don't care what happens to you where you go back to your country of origin, right? No pity at all, right? You want to come in to Canada, the United States, you want to join Western civilization, or dare I say, civilization, right? Civilization. Islam is a cancer. It's a civilizational cancer. And that's why I rail so strongly in support of Israel. It is like a aircraft carrier of civilization surrounded by barbarism. Guess what happens if Israel gets wiped off the map? You would just have a much larger Gaza than you have now, and nobody wants that. Jordan doesn't want it. Egypt doesn't want it. Nobody wants it to happen. So at any rate, Donald Trump is doing a wonderful thing. And I hope he exerts pressure on that South African government, just as the international community had exerted sanctions on South Africa during apartheid. They need to do the same thing now with this racist regime. And it's only going to get worse, right? But rolling blackouts, right? South Africa had amongst the best infrastructure in Africa, if not the best. And now rolling blackouts, rampant crime. The murder rate in South Africa now is amongst the third, fourth, or fifth highest in the world, right? Highest in the world. You have to actually try pretty hard to get your murder rate that high. But at any rate, in South Africa, it's succeeding. The country is collapsing. God help it. At any rate, thanks so much for your time and attention. Do drop a thumbs up if you like the video. It gratifies my fragile male ego. Check out my book, Deconstructing Social Justice. It's available on Amazon. Not important because I wrote it. I wrote it because the issues could not be more important. This ideology, it is coming for you. It is pitiless and it's relentless. Sorry. Anyways, thanks so much for your time and attention. And by the way, check out my other videos. And if you're catching this on YouTube, instead of it being pushed to you, you hit the thumbs up or subscribe. You actually have to search for my videos. A number of people have told me, oh, they're not getting my videos after I search for them. Anyways, thanks so much for your time and attention. Bye-bye now.